All right, y'all. We finna move along a little bit because I believe, if I'm not mistaken, there's a pretty big football game going on tomorrow that we need to kind of cover and discuss. You know, the national championship, if I'm not mistaken, of this college football playoff.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Is about to begin. And so, you know, I'm excited. I know LSU not up in there. You know, that's our team, Louisiana State University, a.k.a. DBU. But I'm excited. I think this is going to be a pretty good game. However, of course, in a game that features Alabama is yet again, even after having lost the game, Clemson is going in this thing undefeated. Alabama is the resounding favorite, whereas the undefeated team is the poorly underdogs.
How big of a favorite? I'm going to look that up.
Yeah, look it up. But we're going to start off with a light and easy question. And then, we're going to branch out into other things. So my question to you guys is, does Clemson have a chance?
They have a chance because they have Alabama's kryptonite, which is a mobile quarterback. That's their only chance. You're talking Johnny Manziel-ish, you know, and I think, Watson's a better version of Johnny Manziel, quicker, faster, stronger, a better arm as well. So that's the only threat. If Clemson's quarterback can go on a roll and, you know, make dynamic plays with his feet to keep plays alive, that's how you beat Alabama. If he cannot, I'm sorry to say, I think it's a blowout. I think, and I hate the way it is, but I think that if Deshaun Watson acts a fool, they have a chance. But I'm guessing Alabama's going to just destroy them. I'm looking at another 35 to maybe 14 kind of game.
Right now, as of today, Alabama's a 7-point favorite versus Clemson.
All right, give me your gut feeling. What's the score? Give me a bold prediction.
Oh yeah, okay. If you want a bold prediction, man, I'm.
So where you at? Because you think it's gonna be a blowout, but you think the quarterback?
No. I say that's the only chance of them making it competitive.
Well, they have that.
Yeah, they have it. Yeah.
Team.
So, but I'm thinking that the man can't do it on his own. Alabama just has a stiff defense. I'm going with Bama.
Don't you hate to say it?
I hate to say it. Oh, I really do. I hate to say it. I'm going with Bama 31-14.
31-14.
We.
Hey, look.
That's not a good game to watch. I'm gonna just go ahead and sit. I'm gonna go ahead and sit this one out. I was gonna go to Buffalo Wild Wings or something and watch it, but now I'm like 31-14. I'll pass.
Hey, I'm hoping it's a good game and Clemson wins. But if you're talking gut feeling on your honest opinion, I got Bama just killing them.
The question to you before we get to your prediction is, how good is if they have the kryptonite of Alabama, which is a mobile quarterback? Right. The question would be, how good is Deshaun Watson?
That's his name.
Yeah, how good is Deshaun? How good is Deshaun? Is he better than Chad Kelly?
Well, see,
from Mississippi.
The problem is he plays in the ACC. So no one really got this. It wasn't that much competition when you're talking defensive wise. Even the bowl game, even against Oklahoma. That's Big 12. That's not known for. Oklahoma had some shootouts this year. Talking 40-something to 30-something games all year. So he played against Oklahoma team that's not known for their defense. They're known for their quarterback as well, their offense. So now you're going to a team that's stacked defensively wise.
So you saying this whole game is about Deshaun Watson versus Alabama.
1 versus 11.
You don't have any inkling about the other way around? What about Clemson's defense?
No.
Alabama's offense is just gonna score 31.
They're too big, too physical. They're gonna smash them off, man. You talking? Look, Michigan State was a quote unquote smash mouth team. And they're like, oh yeah, 2 smash mouth teams playing each other. Oh, it's gonna be a dogfight.
Michigan State couldn't score that much the whole season.
That's true too. But Alabama made them like it was, in middle school. They slapped them around. I'm like, oh, if that's your most physical team outside the SEC, Michigan State, quote unquote, and Alabama kills them 38-0. Then you got to say, oh man, Michigan State defense is much better than Clemson's. I would believe so. And I can see Alabama putting up points on them, and that's a scary thought when Alabama puts up points.
I kind of know what Nev going on.
So you got 31-14. I want to hear you first, Dirk, before I give my...
What's the question again? I'm sorry.
The question was, does Clemson have a chance? And then after you state your claim, either way, give us a bold prediction how you think the game's going to play out in a score.
Now, the first thing I always think about when it comes to Nick Saban teams is how long does he have to prepare? One of the reasons why Michigan State just got demolished is because Nick Saban had a whole month to figure them out. I mean, that was really, to me, the nail on the coffin. I mean, you didn't even have to watch that game once I knew that. But this time, I think it's, a week and a day or something like that.
Something like that, yeah.
So, does Clemson have a chance? No. No. It's like I want to say yes. I want to say, because I feel you. It's like, it's intriguing. It's like, I think Deshaun Watson may be a better version right now than Chad Kelly. That's yet to be seen whenever they move on. But Chad Kelly that was a lot of fluke plays in that game.
I was just going to say that.
I watched that game.
Was a lot of fluke.
I mean, they have Treadwell. They have he has a great receiving core. They have somewhat of explosive offense, but they were scoring 90-yard touchdowns on tip passes.
Thank you.
I mean, it was just ridiculous.
Thank you.
So, to answer your question directly, no.
No.
Like, I just don't see it, man. I'm telling you, like, Clemson... There's nothing about, like, I understand they keep winning. They have this chip on their shoulder, like, you know, I'm always, everybody always doubting all this kind of stuff. But no, I've watched Alabama play against too many tough, strong teams, and just like what was said before, they just too overpowering.
Yeah, too overpowering. I mean,
this particular year. They don't have now. If for some reason their offense just can't do anything versus Clemson's defense, now forgive me, but I don't know enough about Clemson to know if their defense is just as that dominant. I haven't seen it. You know, from the few Clemson games I watched, I watched Alabama a lot, and they were just the front seven is just. Nothing. You can get nothing. Like, you can't get nothing out of that.
Think about it.
So it's tough. It's tough. I can't see Clemson scoring more than 17 points, which Alabama to me don't score a lot of points either. But if Alabama can score 20 or more points, they win in this game.
So that's your score.
My score is gonna be almost close to his. It's gonna be a little closer, but I'm gonna say 28 to 17.
17, Bama. Roll Tide.
Alabama.
But think about it.
Roll T-Day.
The times that Alabama scored over 28 points a game have been nationally televised games on turf. Think about it. Playing in Dallas Stadium. Playing, they're going to Phoenix now.
I just feel...
And that's only because they're playing teams outside the SEC. So when it's SEC versus... So when they're playing teams like... I don't know who they played earlier this year. They smashed the first game of the year. I forgot who it was.
Wisconsin or something?
It's teams like that.
Like
some like Big Ten school, or they play ACC school, or whatever school, Pac-12. They're scoring points on them. One is turf, and it's two is a team against.
Now, see,
SEC.
if it was last year and it was Jameis Winston or something, I'd have been like, oh yeah, Florida State, maybe they got a chance. Right. But this Clemson.
Well, why Jameis Winston and Florida State and not Clemson?
Because I feel that Jameis Winston has that, to me, like if you compare him from last year and the year before versus what I've seen with my two eyes of Deshaun, Jameis is a better quarterback.
I think Jameis...
And he had a better team. He had better
exactly.
running back.
Now,
he had better defensive skill.
If you're talking...
It's close. Yeah. It's close. But you remember that time he went down there to Clemson in his freshman year and won that game?
If you're talking the Florida State
and
team 2 years ago...
No, I'm not saying I don't disagree with you. I do disagree with you or agree with you in this case. I just was asking why because I thought it was a good question.
I just think Jameis to simplify, Jameis is better than Deshaun.
and the better team around. I'm talking defensively. You're talking 2 years ago, Florida State. You're talking about Florida State from last year. That team, got destroyed by Oregon, even though it was kind of self-inflicted. But if you're talking Florida State from 2 years ago when they had all those weapons, you give James Winston, he has the it factor.
Not only that, but they have a coach, Jimbo Fisher, who used to be in the SEC running coordinator for Nick Saban and them. From that alone, I thought it would be a better shot. You look at coach versus coach. Dabo is doing his thing this year.
He's making him so likable. That's what I love about him. He's a good man. Like you want to root for him. Like, man, please win, because that's a good guy. But
I'm even hesitant to give Clemson 17 points. That's how I feel about it.
Are y'all ready for me yet?
Oh yeah,
are y'all ready for me?
Ultimate Alabama hater. I'm ready.
No, I know what he about. I know what he going.
You know where I'm going. Well, we finna find out. Well, America, my opinion is slightly different. We just gonna say that. I mean, after all, isn't this America? Don't we just love the story of the underdog anyway?
Right.
So, if anybody know me anyway, obviously being from Louisiana,
you little quarterback,
going for LSU. I did play a little quarterback, but I don't like Alabama. Let's just get that out. Let's just get that out in front.
Hey, before you make a prediction, is it from the heart or is it from the head?
No. Listen. I don't like Alabama. I don't like nothing about them.
Paul Firebomb show.
I don't like their colors. I don't like everything they stand for. And of course they play in the SEC with LSU.
Right.
And not only do they play in the same conference, they play in the same division, the SEC West. So I
can't stand them either. That's what took me a while to answer.
We got to see that every year. But I'm gonna say this. All jokes aside, I do have respect for Alabama. They are the cream of the crop when it comes to, poster boys for being a college football team, who everybody wants to be like.
This year.
But
tomorrow.
The question was, does Clemson have a chance?
That's the question. You're right.
The question I asked.
Yeah.
And the more I think about it, the more I have to say, yes, they have a chance. Because this is a game. I play games. I think we've all competed at some level, whether it's, you in the band, y'all went to band competitions. Me and him played sports at the high school level. So you're always going into a game thinking you have a chance. And, I know I'm not playing in this game and I don't play for Clemson or Alabama. But, yes, Clemson does have a chance. And I'm going to tell you why. Well, for one, let's start with this. I know y'all talked about it a little bit. They hadn't lost yet. Nobody's beaten this team. And, everybody's going to say, well, they play in the ACC. Alabama play in the SEC. The SEC's been a dominant conference over the past few years. Over the past decade, we can go as far as to say almost even 2 decades.
Right.
But, and that is true. They produce more national championships, our own homegrown SEC. Mm-hmm. However, back to my initial premise, football is football and competition is competition. Like what's his name said in his little clip that we always make fun of, Jim Mora. I don't care who you play. If you're undefeated, you're a good football team. And that means you're doing a lot right. I don't care who, and it doesn't matter who you're playing. If you're undefeated, somebody on the coaching staff is doing a heck of a job, and obviously the players are playing together and they're doing a heck of a job. So let's just start with that. Yes, they have a resounding chance. Now, to beat a team like Alabama, who's known to be very disciplined, doesn't make a lot of mistakes, you're going to have to take some chances. It's too many teams that try to get in a game with Alabama and they get nervous and they try to beat Alabama by playing a game that suits Alabama, by playing them in what we call, playing in a phone booth, trying to go one-on-one, man-on-man, and trying to go straight at them and punch them in the mouth. If they try to do that, they absolutely do not stand a chance of winning this football game. However, if you watch Clemson, they don't play football like that in the first place. Mm-hmm. Michigan State was there to rights because they do play football like that, and they refuse to adjust. And as much as I hate to admit it, LSU was there to rights going to Tuscaloosa thinking it was going to win like they went with Leonard Fournette, which was probably the best running back in the country this year. Derrick Henry did his thing. Christian McCaffrey did his thing. But to me, Leonard Fournette, hands down, was still the best running back. Still leading by yards per game.
Wasn't even invited.
Wasn't even invited.
Heisman ceremony.
I was mad about that.
But to stay on cue, stay on script.
Yeah, you're right. Just a little taste.
Clemson does not line it up, I formation,
Right.
big formation, jumbo formation, 3 tight ends, whatever you want to call it, and just hand it off, and then punt it on 3rd and 4th down.
What they do, educate.
And they give it back to Alabama. Well, they have a hybrid offense. Most teams in the ACC, if you watch them, they do favor the pro style offense, which is kind of funny because you hinted on it. Jameis Winston, the reason why he has so much success this year because they ran the pro style in Florida State. Now Clemson, they sort of have what I call a hybrid. It's a little bit pro, a little bit of college stuff.
Spread, yeah.
But the key, obviously, in this is spreading Alabama out. I said playing them in the phone book. That's packing it in and trying to hand it off. Spreading them out. Now you got some problems with Alabama because they have a lot of big guys on defense. Now I heard the stories. They all dropped 10 pounds and they're a lot faster. And they do look faster than they did last year.
They got some speed, man.
They do have some speed, but
that's that SEC speed, man.
But Clemson, once again, they're at their best when they're attacking on the edges with the running back. They have a very good running back too, by the way. Wayne Gallman, he ain't no joke. Now this is kind of funny because nobody knew who Ezekiel Elliott was until he shredded Alabama. This guy, if they on their game, he could very well
who Ezekiel was
shred. I mean, but on the national stage, nobody knew who he was. If you follow college football, you knew who he was.
Let me make a quick point. Clemson has the right formula to beat Alabama. I can say that they have the right formula. I just don't think they have
the execution.
The players.
Well, let me finish. Hold on, let's go back to this 14-0. You done done a lot.
You're right.
14-0, and you're the number 1 team in the country. Don't think they're gonna make the mistake we made when we was number 1 in the country and got shut out in the national championship a few years ago. This is almost the same kind of scenario, except Clemson hadn't played Alabama that year. So this is a little different in that regard. However, the quarterback is the key. You both were right about that. He's a sophomore. Might we be reminded he did get invited to New York for the Heisman Trophy ceremony. So that should tell you a little bit about what he can and cannot do on the football field. So, I mean, do they have a chance with a runner-up to the Heisman? I don't see why not. And he can, I know when people think of dual-threat quarterbacks, they think of a guy who is primarily, it's a biased term. They use it more or less that a guy who can throw, but more likely is dangerous with his legs.
Right.
I'll tell you this. Deshaun Watson better have the best game of his entire life. And they better be running fumble-rooskies and statues of liberties. But they better throw the kitchen sink at Alabama. But that is your chance.
But he don't have to. He just has to protect the football. Everybody knows.
No, he need to do more than that.
No, they got to take chances. But I'm talking about when he's running with it, he's got to protect it.
I got you. But he got to run though,
and not force it. Oh, he
got to scramble.
There will be design. Well, listen, you have a lot to defend with a guy who is athletic because one, there's really no way to defend a scramble. You can only practice for it. But until you see a guy scrambling on the field, it's nothing you can do but adjust. You better ask USC what happened when they ran into Vince Young in 2006, and nobody thought Texas had a chance of winning that game either.
Right.
USC had won 28 in a row though. At that point, they looked immortal. Just like
Deshaun Watson is Vince Young.
I didn't say he was, but Vince Young had to make a name somewhere. Did he not? And his coming out party was ironically when he was a sophomore when they beat Michigan in the Rose Bowl. Right. I watched that game because I was a Michigan fan, and Vince Young ate him alive. Now I know this is Alabama defense and this ain't Michigan defense, but I'm still on my point of do they have a chance? So you throw all that in. Now they did lose one of the receivers. I got a key receiver. Done something stupid. You know how people do.
Is that where is he?
No, he won't be playing. He won't be playing.
Right.
Who, for Clemson?
Yeah, he was one of the.
He won't be playing.
He didn't play the last game.
So he's not gonna be part of that kitchen sink.
But back to defending the quarterback. It's hard to defend on a quarterback that can scramble, that can run the read option. That's another element of this. But he also can throw the ball. This guy was responsible for 40-plus touchdowns. Okay. How many people you know in NCAA history are responsible for 40-plus touchdowns? I would look it up, but I got to keep going because I don't want to hold y'all up because I see y'all looking at me stupid. Clemson don't have a chance. Man, come on.
No, I mean, I hear you, but
so-
the only chance that you say they have is if they, what I said, he has to play his
Well,
best
no,
game
that's
ever.
half the story. The offense have to take care of the ball and put up points. I know that's cliche.
Okay, well,
but I believe they can do that because they have so many things they can throw at you. And y'all touched on this a point because I got through fussing at Minnesota for not doing this. But Dabo Swinney, he ain't scared to dial up a trick play or two.
You're right,
How many people you see dial up a trick play against Alabama? Never or hardly ever. This guy got a saying, and he got them guys believing. BYOG. Y'all hear him say that?
Yeah, bring your
Y'all
own
know what that
guts.
means? Bring your own guts.
Yeah.
So you can't be saying bring your own guts and then running a halfback dive 40 times out of 50 plays.
All right, now.
Unless
Hold
you
on.
got Derek Jeter.
So you doing all that talking, so what's your prediction? Who's
Hold
gonna
on,
go?
hold on.
What's
Let me
the
break down. Let me break down the other flip side of this.
Oh, that's a half. That's the second half.
That was just the offense.
all right. Give me that.
I gotta
Give me that
get the
defense.
defense.
Give me that. Now you can give me an argument if you say Clemson defense.
Clemson
stop
defense is
Alabama.
very, very underrated
man.
as well. No, they're not as good as Alabama. Alabama has by far the best defense in the country. To be honest, I'm going to give y'all my honest take on that too because it plays into does Clemson have a chance. The year they played us in the national championship game when we beat them the first time,
LSU.
I'm not quite over it.
Alabama.
Alabama statistically had the number one defense.
Right.
Who was number two? Anybody know? Anybody want to take a wild guess?
Pretty sure it was LSU.
Ding, ding, ding.
I was about to
Correct.
say Clemson.
Correct. But it was by a small margin. But let me tell you why. The teams LSU played that year were a lot better on offense than the teams Alabama played that year.
Okay.
Now, what does that have to do with this? Well, Alabama did tear people up on defense, but how many great offenses did they play this year?
No, that's
How many
true.
offenses did they play like this one this year?
That's true.
They had a couple.
Name them. Come on. I know they're going to say Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, Tennessee. Tennessee was a tough game. Josh Dobbs.
All
That's
right.
a version of,
Ironically, they lost one of those games.
I told you what happened.
They
in that
probably
game.
should have lost the other one. They won the other one like in the last minute. correct?
Should've
Yeah,
lost.
that-
After
they should've-
Tennessee
they should've
turned the
lost
ball
that one.
over.
Should have lost Tennessee.
That was their worst game of the season.
Okay, so
The other game was a fluke game.
are you seeing a pattern here? Are y'all seeing the pattern now?
No, I feel you. I think Clemson will be the most explosive offense they do play this year. I understand that, but even to that kind of standard, I still don't see as Clemson being that great offense. Is their great offense?
Well, you don't
gonna
have to be
handle
great.
Alabama?
That's what I mean. Like I said, they don't have to put up 500 yards.
Right.
I don't think that's going to happen, and that's not what I'm saying. They just have to be effective moving the ball. Field position will play a big part in this game. So it's punters and field position get underlooked. Special teams play always get underlooked in the big game. But mark my words, the special teams and field position will be a big part of this game.